This is Rebecca, the frustrated steampunk planner. So this is not a new cover. This is what I'm dealing with right now. And I haven't even made it 2 days into this week. So what happened? I went to pick up my coffee and take a drink and instead spilled it all over my planner. So I am having to transfer everything from here into a new planner. I've started. It's going to take me a little bit of time. If you are somebody who jumps planners throughout the year and has to backfill, I'm kind of looking at this as that type of situation with frustration, because pieces like this, I am not sure. I may try to repaint it. I don't know. It didn't get bad with everything going on, but the rest of this did. And I want to use this opportunity to talk with you about why I insist in here on using DeAtramentis as well as other waterproof. And actually, this is making me think about getting the Noodler's Bulletproof. So first part of this year, not too bad, but you can start seeing here that I'm starting to get into areas where the paper is soaked. As I get farther in, you can see that not much has happened. But as I get farther in this way, you start to see that you can tell when I am not using my DeAtramentis. This is the Sarasa Zebra in the 0.3, and that is in also the brown. And you can see how it's bleeding right now. These finally are dry. This you can see was the DeAtramentis. This is the Star Child by Wearing You'll, so I'm impressed with that. But it's going to start getting worse because this page got wet. It's bleeding through. This is the platinum black ink that I was told and trusted that this was a waterproof ink. It is not. And here, the Star Child by Wearing You'll did start really taking a hit, because this was the main splashdown, I guess you could say. But we're not done. This is the platinum. And this is last week. That is what I have right now in my honeycomb. That is going to be changed. This is what took the damage. So everything I wrote in here is almost gone, only because of the ink bleed through, because it got soaked. And I did notice this was the main hit. My cup went like this and just all over, and my list from yesterday, except for 2 words, is completely gone. So yeah, this is why in my workbook, I'm always doing waterproof. I am impressed with the Tombow Food and SQ. Not a bleed through. Wow, not happy at all. So I'm going to use this breakdown throughout my new setup. I have got everything finally caught up. This did honestly give me the opportunity to rethink all of my productivity work in this book. It also helped me with realizing I don't need to do the full year of this. I could have done the compact and been fine, but I don't mind all of these notes. And I am going to save all of these papers. I mean, that's a lot of paper right there. I'm going to save them for doing my inking and swatching so that I'm not wasting. Let's get into this aspect. In my notes area, I actually was doing more of trying to replicate the Dutch doors that I had fun with in my memory keeping. That's out the window. Here, I am streamlining more. I am making sure that I'm setting aside adequate room for doing my sketches for my clients, making notes. And then I have clearer note taking here for book covers for I have one of my clients. I did make note of actually what happened. And here is where I'm going to introduce some really wonderful news for me. And my husband is excited. I hope you are. I have been talking since January about wanting another subscription kit to bring in. I am finally going to look at creating my own stickers and possibly a subscription kit. But first, we're going to do this on Patreon. I need help getting the funds together so that I can get the equipment and do this properly. I have gone and gotten a cute little printer cutter. I will show you that in a different video, but I wanted to share with you Steampunk Planner is going to stay my channel name. My nickname is Reebs, but it's going to be for the sticker company. It's going to be Reebs Doodles. It may change, but that is the idea. So we've been doing some research. We've been planning. Now what's going to wind up happening is Fridays are going to be the days that Steve and I sit together and really work this plan. Here off to the side, I shared with you my Tafasi. I will share this setup in a different video, but I am using this towards the business, putting everything together. So over here, of course, my months did not come over, but I want to show you some changes I've done. I was able to save this beautiful sticker. I cut it out and then put it down with the double stick tape. Here, I am going to start working on next year planners. It is really great to see that I am not the only one doing that. I knew I wasn't, but even Helen with Coffee Monster is starting to set up her plans for next year of what journals she wants. You need to give yourself the time actually, because there is a lot more than just, oh, I'm going to pick a planner off the shelf. You need to find something that works best for you, especially if this is something that you're doing new. I set up my husband's planners with him. I took you along with me. I checked in with him when we did our first business meeting, and he has not used them, but did share with me that he does want to. So the want is there. And if that's where you are, you want to do it, but you're just not able to kind of like click into that, give yourself the time. Give yourself that availability to start working it into his system. For Steve's work, digital is great because he has it in front of him. It can also work for him for work in conjunction with the digital planning. We need to figure out a way for him to do that. This layout here in the Sterling Ink Common Planner is the one where it's all the goal settings. Wash it over everything because I'm starting to write down ideas and what I want to do, and I'm using the vertical washi tape by Coffee Monster to put in as kind of like a page tab. It's the full length of the page and it's a tab. So here are the expenses. so far for my work for this year. I have not decided on this since I'm changing things. I went ahead and I have these months in the review, and I want to do a goal for the week. And over here, as I stated, unfortunately, my monthly paintings did not come over, but what I decided to do was play a little bit, which I will do a short showing how I put this together. So the months are getting their stickers, their tabs. I was able to rescue them and get them put over, and I'm up to date for June. I just need to fill everything out. So into the weeklies. This is the last week of December, beginning of January, and I decided to go ahead and start using more of the setup that I started here in June, the first week of June, before I threw my cup of coffee onto my book. This allowed me to start really thinking about layouts in here. So this is what I set up for June. It does kind of work, but I do also see I don't use daily goals. I do use expenses, but I don't need that large of an area. This is January, and something I did find is my note taking for work really suffered, and it did not put the attention necessary, which made it difficult for me to translate my own notes. And then into February, I changed up the scene, and I really like this layout. So you might see this a little bit more. So in March, took on another marker and another layout. It really didn't work, and I went back and tried to rework the layout that I did with February. But I'm trying different avenues. So when you are trying, whether you're bullet journaling or you're using a sterling ink, a Hobonichi, and you're trying to figure out ways of setting it up, don't be afraid to do this. This is not just for figuring out how do you want to decorate. This is for figuring out what is going to be the best way for you truly to be able to work your planner for you. So now we're getting into May. I pulled over some washies that I used already in my previous book. I didn't want to lose those options, and I wanted to get really an option of how it would look doing this with washi. So we're now into the second week of June, and this setup I want to go ahead and quickly do with you. All right, I'm going to do something different since I did introduce washi. This is the Coffee Monster collaboration that she did with the 2Bs. It is the smaller millimeter of the washi tape. I can use this vertically and horizontally. So I'm going to use this to mark this up. And then I will probably take and use a soft yellow or soft blue marker to do the rest where I highlight. Please also, if you are interested in doing your own planner but just don't know where to start, reach out. And not just to me, you can reach out to anyone in the community. We love to help you to figure out what is best going to work for you. I have my very first order with Archer and Olive to review with you guys. It is here, and I am so excited to show that to you. Now, it's not a subscription. They do have a subscription set out right now, and I am considering getting it. And since I have personally not bullet journaled, and the closest that I'm going to have gotten to bullet journaling is what I'm doing here and doing the Dutch doors. I would love to work that with you if that is something you're interested in. It's going to be something that I will be doing with my planner stickers, designs, trying to find out if what I'm planning will actually work, whether you are doing a dot grid setup of your own, or if you're using sterling ink or Hobonichi or any other size, a personal planner, traveler's notebook, anything like that. So there's that. I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to do a light blue. All right, not to my surprise, I don't have light colors, but I have this beautiful gray periwinkle. and it's the N60, and I'm just going to go in and highlight where I'm going to write everything for their headline. And then one last thing I'm going to do, I just felt it was a little too much, is I am going to block out where my expenses are going to go in, and then highlight for next week. I have not gotten the gumption to do any of stamping in here, but who knows? When I do my review of the month, we might. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, definitely need to do Bulletproof Noodler's ink in your planner if you're going to decide to pour coffee all over it. Have a good day.